I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is the growing outcry, mainly by Errol Spence fans, that why doesn't TC fight someone like Jaron Ennis? Why doesn't he fight Boots Ennis? Since he's not going to fight Sean Porter in his prime, since he's not going to fight Danny Garcia in his prime, since he's not going to fight Keith Thurman in his prime, why doesn't he fight someone like Jaron Boots Ennis? And so I'm going to turn it over to you, Conspiracy G. What's your reaction to that? Do you think Terence Crawford should fight Jaron Boots Ennis?
Yes. Right now, no. And the reason why is because, all right, what happened in the heavyweight division, I feel like it happened in any division. I'm telling you, the whole time we was waiting for AJ versus Wilder. And then lo and behold, some guy named Usyk popped up, So to me, if I was TC, I wouldn't even risk it. We all know Boots got skills and he's next up. But I remember when Keith Thurman was the champ and when Errol Spence was coming up, and Keith would just ignore any talk about Errol Spence, right? He was like, yo, he's a nobody, like he has to earn, what did he say? He said something about along the line, I'm paraphrasing, but, he had to earn his way to fighting Keith Thurman, right? And at first you go like, that's a sucker move, this and that. But when you think about it, it's like rightfully so, it's a prize fighting. So, why should TC like give a helping hand to Boots? I don't see how that makes sense for TC. At this point in TC's career, he just wants to fight champions or even former champions because that's what's going to generate money for him. Boots, although in the boxing world he's known, to casuals he's not. So TC will take a short going backwards trying to fight Boots Ennis right now. So I just feel like TC, just wait for one of the big names to pop up. I wouldn't even risk it because if you lose, then now people may not even want to see you versus Spence. Now people want to see Spence versus Boots. So I don't know. To me, it's a gamble that I don't think he needs right now. So I would advise TC, just wait until a big name pops up and you take that fight. Don't risk it with Boots Ennis because this dude could possibly beat you. And then now you left Bob for nothing.
Don't try on them Boots. All right, $2 bill.
To Terence Crawford fight Jaron Ennis. Yeah, no. I'm with G. No. I would love to see that fight. But it's when we was coming up, right? We was coming up in the streets, right? We would say we was doing dirt. We said the risk had to equal the reward. That's what we would say in the streets. And this risk is no reward. Boots is a problem. Boots would be a serious problem. And so, no, and I think we know from seeing y'all take a page from G. Y'all know I like TC, right? But if you look at his resume, you see he has been playing it safe. And I don't see that he would go do something out of the norm and challenge somebody like Boots. You know what I'm saying? I would see him challenge somebody like Conor Benn before he does Boots. But TC has to do something to help his resume because that's what's gonna come down to at the end. This is people are gonna start questioning it. We all know that he's a great fighter and he's shown that he's a great fighter against the people that they put in front of him. But there's gonna come a time where people are gonna start talking about his resume. And I think it would help him if he can put some good, solid names on that resume. Because that's the only way that's going to help him with negotiations. Because what Errol is doing is he's leading in as far as within, especially if he can grab this other belt. When it goes time to sit down at that table, who you think is going to have more leverage? Who you think is going to be in the driver's seat for the 60-40? Maybe even a little more. So I think he definitely need to do some soul searching because TC, he has to fight somebody. He has to fight somebody. And if he does fight Boots, he will gain a whole bunch of respect. I know a lot of boxing casuals might not know who Boots is, but from the boxing world, the boxing public, he will get a lot of respect. And then the casuals will catch on later. You know?
They already on him. It's the diehard like boxing people who be like, I don't know, man. His resume is kind of weak, but his fans, they already on him.
So I think there'll be if he can TC got to do something for that resume. That's basically what he got. He got to do something for that resume. But this is boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's all the risks, no rewards with fighting a guy like Boots because Boots is a problem. And he can punch.
All right, TVE.
No, I think TC should just look at his offers right now and not fight Jaron Ennis. See what money what contracts he can get out here before he go get into any fights. And honestly, I think he should just wait out, get a little tune up before he fight fight Spence. Fight the same time. Spence fights Ugas, fight a week before, a week after, and then get into talks about setting that up, making that happen. Sorry about that, yeah. But I don't think he should be going into the danger zone with fighting other fighters that puts TC at risk of losing his belt and losing the opportunity against Spence. So yeah, I just think he should just worry about other things. He has other things to worry about than Jaron Ennis.
To answer the question directly, no. I don't think he should fight Jaron Boots Ennis, especially if he's trying to prove something to Errol Spence fans, because it's not going to work. Because if he wins, people are going to say, you still can't beat Earl. And if he loses, everyone's going to be like, well, imagine what Earl would have done to him. I hate that argument. Like, it gets on my nerves. This is like the fanboy new thing is to just put a barrier in between them. We'll fight this person and then fight that person. Me personally, I think Jaron Boots Ennis has a really good chance of beating Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. So this isn't the dude to play with. Like G said, my money's on he got next. And so, like, if you want to make it early, all right, put him in the equation. He's not in the equation right now. You don't have to put him in the equation right now. So keep him out of the equation right now. TC has a fight that the world wants to see, which is rare when you can capture the attention of the world and the public, and that's Spence and Crawford. People want to see that fight. The reason why, to me, what Spence is doing cannot be considered ducking is he's doing something that's going to add to the intrigue of a fight with TC. And that's he's trying to collect the WBA belt so that if they fought one another, it would be for undisputed. You can't tell me that fight doesn't get bigger if it's undisputed. It definitely does. And it definitely finally makes an heir to Floyd Mayweather, because you would have the undefeated Errol Spence Jr. versus the undefeated Terence Crawford for undisputed. Now, when you look at it that way, realistically, there's no dispute that the winner of this fight is the guy at welterweight, is the heir to Floyd Money Mayweather, right? And for TC's troubles, all he had to do was beat a Jeff Horn who was gifted the belt anyway. And Earl had to beat Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and your Dennis Ugas. So if you're going to be fair about it, when you come to the table and negotiate splits, to me, what TC just needs to do is humble himself and take 40. If if that's even what he deserves, because depending on how that fight happens with Ugas, let's say Errol Spence goes in there and dominates Ugas, completely blows him out. 60-40 may be too much. He may be giving away too much in that split. But from my point of view, if you're an Errol Spence fan, telling him to fight Jaron Ennis, that does nothing. If anything, that's a possible threat to what we want to see. We want to see. I guarantee you, if TC fights Jaron Ennis and Jaron Ennis cleans him out, washes him, Errol Spence moving up to 154. He gonna say, Jaron, you can have it. All those belts are vacant. Jaron, it's the Jaron cleanup era. That's not what we want. We actually want to see Crawford fight Spence. We actually want to see that. So to me, for Crawford's next fight, I don't know when Crawford's trying to get back in the ring. I know Thurman's fighting Barrios, whatever. He's fighting him, on pay-per-view, which it shouldn't be. But if Thurman beats him, then I think TC should fight him. And if he's looking for a fight, or if he wants to immediately go into the fight with Errol Spence, they're finalizing that fight between Spence and Ugas. So I'm assuming TC is going to be able to have another fight in between his fight with Porter. I would love to see him fight, say, a Keith Thurman, or fight someone of that caliber. If Danny Garcia want to get in there, fight a Danny Garcia. Fight someone of that caliber, and then get in there with Errol Spence for Undisputed. I would love to see that. I don't need him to risk it. I don't need TC to prove to me that he can beat Jaron Ennis. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters to me is that they make the fight with Errol Spence. And I think, TC has to take a look in the mirror and be like, yo, I'm going to give this man 60. I'm going to take 40. I'm going to beat his A. And then I'm the dog from here on out. From here on out, I'm the shot caller. But I think he's going to take that, because I do believe that Earl has done enough to earn the lion's share based on the quality of opposition, based on beating these guys first. So all the Errol Spence fans who want to see TC fight Jaron Boots Ennis for what? If he wins, you're not going to give him credit and say he can beat Earl. If he loses, then you're going to try to act like Earl can beat him, which isn't necessarily true either. So the whole Jaron Boots Ennis thing is this, I'm with you guys, like, yo, when it's Boots time, it's going to be Boots time. But he has to earn the shot as a mandatory, because I don't think either one of them should give it to him.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome.